Hello, team, and welcome to this. I was gonna say Instagram live. Welcome to this YouTube live. I I don't know who's more excited. I see many comments here already saying that people are excited, but I think I am extremely excited to be here. This is the first time I'm doing a YouTube live, so thank you so much for being here. I am super happy to be able to share with you all my knowledge of carousels that I've gathered throughout the years, really, of being on Instagram. I think a lot of people talk a lot about reels, right? But what about carousels? Let me know, by the way, if you can hear me okay, and where you are joining us from. By the way, I'm here in Ireland. I am Brazilian, if you don't know, but I live in Ireland. So I would love to know where you are speaking from, and also if the audio is okay so that you can hear everything that I have to say throughout this session. I see Farah, I see Herman, I see Heather. Hi, Heather, Laura, Felipe. Oh, perfect. Okay, you can hear me, Shelly. Thank you so much. Florian, Canada, love it. Amsterdam, can you believe I've been to Amsterdam airport? I think like 10, maybe 15 times, but I've never visited Amsterdam. It's on my list. It's on my list one day. Italy, loving it. I'm loving it, team. Thank you so much for being here. All right, all right. Keep sending me where you're from. I'm based in Ireland, but I'm Brazilian. So again, thank you for being here. Let me get started by putting up our slides. I'm a slide type of girl. I need my support system here. So, and I think it makes things a lot more visual. So, let's get started. I think if you are here today, then you're probably looking to get more results with your content. Maybe your audience is currently saying that, okay, they love your content, but they're not exactly buying yet. Maybe you want to create more content that builds leadership around your brand, around who you are, showing to your audience that you know what you're talking about and that they should listen to you. You understand your stuff, right? How do we communicate that to your audience in a way that is effective? And then maybe you're just curious about carousels. That's valid too. Welcome. You're very welcome here. Or you love carousels. You've been using them for a while, but you want more from them. Because here's the deal. Creating content that gives us likes and engagement is great, but at some point we need to be making our content work for us, right? We need to be getting a return on investment. So how do we do that? And today we're going to be talking a lot about, throughout these three classes, actually, we're going to be talking a lot about generating connection, generating desire, but also generating sales from your content. So let's dive into it. So if you're wondering what we're going to be seeing in our three classes and you haven't seen it yet, on class number 1, we're going to be talking about our 5-pillar methodology to create powerful carousels. That's today's class. Today's class is the intro to the event. What does your carousel need to have in order to perform? That's essentially it. Class number 2 is going to be a very, very hands-on class. It's going to be a brilliant class, and we're going to learn how to build an engaged community of super fans that want to buy from you by using your most powerful weapon. And I'm sure if I ask, you probably know what your most powerful weapon is, okay? But we're going to use it, and we're going to have a hands-on exercise that's going to make a whole lot of difference to your content. And then we're going to go on to class number 3, where it's going to be all about sales. How do we create carousels that actually sell? And we're going to be talking a little bit about desire, and we're going to be talking a little bit about hybrid carousels. A lot of people have been asking me, May, what is hybrid carousels? That's what class 3 is for. Okay, so I promise you, in the shortest and clearest form possible, that this event is here to transform your content creation, the way you think about creating content. And yes, we're going to talk a lot about carousels, but you're going to see that throughout this entire class, as much as I can give you in an hour, I will share with you how to create content that actually gives you results. Okay. So that is my promise to you. I am a person that delivers what she says. Okay. So that is my promise to you. Better say it before. But event guidelines, first and foremost, I would love if you were here fully present, because it has taken me months to create this. I'm not even joking. It has taken me months. And I would love if you were here with your pen and your paper or your iPad, whatever it is, wherever it is that you take notes. Please use this to the fullest. Be present in the moment. It's just 1 hour, and I would really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure your results would too. And then second, this is actually something that I am asking you now because I like being transparent. At the end of classes 2 and 3, I'm going to be introducing my new program, Master of Carousels. So you are going to get a lot of value from these classes, but if you'd like to continue learning, you'd like to continue your journey with me, that's what Master of Carousels is for. We're going to deep dive into every single aspect we're talking about around here, but even more. And you're going to see we're going to have lots of different modules that support what we're going to be talking about inside here, but also in Master of Carousels as well. So that is me asking for your permission to talk about Master of Carousels at the end of classes 2 and 3. Full transparency. Great. Finally, just to not say that I didn't say it, you are going to have access to these slides, okay? You're going to have access to everything. But in order to get these slides, what I'd like you to do is to join the WhatsApp group. I am only going to be sharing the slides on the WhatsApp group. So what do I have? I have a QR code that's going to appear on the screen throughout this class, so keep an eye out for it, and join the group through the QR code. And after this class ends, you're gonna get the PDF with all the slides, okay, like I promised, and you're gonna also get a surprise. But the surprise is only gonna be shown in a few minutes, okay? So thank you so much. I'm reading all your comments. It warms my heart. This is why I'm never scared of going live, because you guys are amazing. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm gonna start crying here. Okay, so how's this class gonna work? I had planned for a 10-minute intro to allow plenty of time for people to come, 5 minutes of white carousels, 40 minutes of full-on class, and then 5 minutes of takeaways and next class preview. Okay. Disclaimer. The strategy that I'm telling you here is a strategy that I've tried, I have tested, and I have done. Does that mean it's the only strategy that exists in the world? No. There are many strategies that exist. This is one of them, okay? If you follow me, if you believe in my work, and if you've seen that this class is for you, then go ahead, use these strategies, make the most of them. I see the comments. The handout will be given on the WhatsApp group at the end of this class, at the end. So check out the QR codes that are going to appear on the screen to join the WhatsApp group and get your slides. Okay, why carousels? And I think to start talking about why carousels, we have to start talking about two things, okay? The first thing we need to talk about is your client's funnel, a sales funnel, essentially, right? So your sales funnel has essentially 4 levels. I like to call them 4 levels. So your first level is awareness, then we go down to connection, then we go on to desire, and then we close the sale. Okay, so in awareness, we are attracting more followers to your page. Inside connection, we're connecting with the people that have reached your account. In desire, we are generating desire towards your brand and your offers. Notice how I'm not just saying offers, I'm also saying brand. And we're going to talk about that in a little more detail in classes 2 and 3. And then we go on to the sale. If you're only staying at awareness, or if you're only staying at the sale, which is what I see most people doing, okay, that they don't go in the middle of the funnel, what happens is there is no connection, there is no desire, so the pyramid is incomplete and the sale does not happen. Okay, it's that simple. It's extremely complex behind the scenes, but it is that simple. So these are the steps a lot of people forget. Let's say, for example, when you're creating awareness content, if you're just creating reels after reels after reels, relatability, right, of funny content or emotional content that's really shallow, like motivational quotes, great. But where is the depth? And it is through that depth that we're going to go down, right? Literally, we need depth to go down to the sale. If anybody has any questions at some point, also let me know. And just a quick note that there will be a recording of this class, but it'll only be available for 24 hours after this class. Okay. And to prove my point of awareness, staying stuck at awareness or staying stuck at sales, what am I bringing to you? I'm bringing to you past May. Okay, and past May went crazy back when Reels launched. She went completely bananas. What she did, she was like, oh yeah, I'm so good at Reels. I'm just going to make a bunch of Reels, right? So I started making loads and loads of Reels. Every single day, I'd come home from work because I still had a job, 9 to 5, and I'd make Reels. So my Reels were getting like 200,000 views, 2.2 million views, 300,000 views, 100,000 views. On my bad days, they would get 10,000 views, right? And I thought I was rocking it. I was killing it until the day that I decided to launch my first product, a branding guide that I had spent hours creating. Literally, if people had followed that branding guide step by step, they would have come out of it with a clear idea of who they are, what they stand for, what they believe in, everything that they need to start creating authentic content, right? Meanwhile, I wasn't creating authentic content. I was just creating stuff that grabbed their attention, right? That grabbed people's attention. I was, let's say, nothing more than a circus clown, okay? Just for explaining purposes. Am I angry at past May? No, I'm very thankful because she showed me something that I should have realized earlier. If you don't generate desire, if you don't build a connection, people forget about you. And why are you all here today? Because I've generated this connection, I've generated this desire. Not because you watched a 10-second reel and you said, wow, this is so cool. Next, right? So, just to close up that story that I was talking before, what happened when I launched my first product? I sold pretty much nothing, right? I sold 3 products to say that I didn't sell anything. 3 products, and I got 40 euros, or roughly $50, a little bit more. So, looking back, at the time, I was shocked, right? I was absolutely shocked. And the next time I launched something, I changed my entire strategy. I started posting carousels. I started posting in-depth content. And what happened? I got my first 2,000 euros. For somebody that had gotten 40 euros from their first launch with 10,000 followers, not even saying I had a small following. I think my first 2,000 euros, I look back at them with a lot of pride because that was what stepped me out of the friend zone. Okay. So that is exactly why I am here today telling you all about carousels, because they are a fantastic tool to make you go deeper, to make your audience go deeper in that funnel. Right. Okay. And you can see in the comments right now, people saying, I follow you since that time. I've seen your pivot. Now, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, here's the QR code that I said. Simply scan this code and you will be in the group. There you go. By the way, if Rose is my assistant, or Felipe, if you can throw the link of the group in the chat as well for our team, then everybody can join. So, but if you have your phone handy, just scan the code. Okay, so let's get started with the 5 pillars of carousel creation. And we're just in time. Remember, I said 5 minutes of why carousels? There you go. I'm so proud of myself. Our first pillar is connect your audience with your brand. Okay, there is a very, very clear science behind this. And I'm going to show you right now with a little bit of a drawing that I didn't do myself. I asked my graphic designer to do it because I am not the best at designing things. So let me show you all her good work. My idea, her design, brilliant. So your brand is on the left side, or my left side anyways, and your audience is on the right side. What happens if we don't connect both? Nothing, right? Nothing happens, which is great. Absolutely nothing happens. Now, what do most people do? Most people do exactly this. They start posting tips. They post tips on Reels. They post tips on carousels. They post tips on infographics. They post tips everywhere. And then let's top off all of those tips with even more stuff that makes no sense. Not having a unique style, not sharing their story, not having a unique angle, and becoming Google's twin, right? What did we just create there with all of that? A barrier. This is what I call the awareness barrier. You're stuck at awareness forever, forever and ever and ever. And it'll never, your content will never fully reach the depth of your ideal audience. Okay? Now, what do I recommend that you start doing today? We start posting attracting content, sure. So attraction reels, attraction carousels, attraction infographics, whatever it is that you're going to attract people with that very short form content, very simple, very relatable, right? You know how to do it well. Then after that, that's where the real job begins. We are going to start creating differentiation content. And in this case, in our case here, we are talking about differentiation carousels. Okay, so let me show you 2 of my examples here. So the 8 professions I had before opening my business at the top in green. And I love your content, but I would never buy from you in red at the bottom. Are you with me so far, team? Are you all with me? Yeah. So, okay. Then, sure, we say, okay, May, I posted all this differentiation content. What else do I need? Well, you need something that's very, very important, which is showing up in your own style. If you don't do that, if you copy the big players, if you copy, I don't even know, your neighbor, you copy that girl that, oh, she has so many followers, and she's traveling to Greece, and she made a launch and she got 6 figures from her launch. You copy those people, what happens? You're going to start talking to their audience, not to your audience, okay? Because that's their style. What does their style have to do with your audience? So you need to be able to identify that style. And this is exactly why inside Master of Carousels, we have a full class on identifying your style. Okay, but for the purposes of today, for our full on 40 minutes class, let's talk about these carousels. Let's continue talking about these pillars. Differentiation carousels, showing up with your own style. Can you add any more types of differentiation content? Yes, 100%. You could even throw in some talking videos, maybe lives, right? But on a day-to-day basis, carousels are fantastic because they don't require you to be there all the time. Okay. So we connect by understanding who we are and who we are targeting, right? What's up, group, guys? What's up, group team, for the slides, if you want the slides after this class? Okay. Questions to ask yourself. This is coming straight from Master of Carousels. So enjoy. So let's write down these questions or get the slides later on. What problems and desires does your audience have that you fulfill? Okay, I don't want to know. Say, for example, your niche is Canva. I don't want to know if they're struggling to create a square in Canva. That's awareness content. Okay, I want to know, why is it that they are, let's say for my niche, why is it that they're posting so much content every single day and they're still not making a single sale? Okay, I want to know, what is it that's stopping them from talking about their offers? Okay, is it their mindset? Is it that they're not confident about what they're selling? Is it that they don't know their audience enough? So what is it that's making them lose their sleep at night? That's what I want to know. Why should they choose you over someone else? Tough question, huh? And what most people tell me when I ask this question is, oh, because I have the best offer. The best offer. Let me tell you something. Unless your product is something that barely exists, right? Which I have some friends that have these types of products, or unless your service is something insanely unique, that doesn't exist. If you communicate it in five words, then I want you to start thinking about this in terms of your brand. Okay, so if you don't have something that is extremely unique, which 99% of us don't, just spoiler alert, we have to choose, we have to differentiate ourselves through our brands. And what are some of the connecting points between you and your audience? Okay, so what are some connecting points between you and your audience, which we just talked about now, the reason why. So start making a list of those. Okay, oh, I don't know, they like it may sound silly, but they love Taylor Swift. I like it too. Can we talk about Taylor Swift? They love going for a run in the morning. Me too. Can I talk about it? So these connecting points, if you bring it back to your brand, you bring it back to your business, it helps you differentiate yourself. And then we can go more in detail and talk about niche related connecting points, which will be even more relevant, right? You are going to be able to grab these slides, guys, because I see Hannah asking with on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so let me just change my slides now for us to continue. And let me do something here on Instagram, because I'm telling people that we are live. So let me just get our live link. 1 second. And I'm gonna put it on my profile for people that want to join. They can join directly. Bio links. Why does Instagram make everything so complicated? Okay, perfect. And now we're going to go live on Instagram to let people know. I should put some, do you know those songs that you listen to when you try to call the bank or the customer service? I should have put it while you were waiting. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So number 2 in our 5-pillar framework, a repeatable and proven carousel framework. Team, this is so important, but so important. And why is it important? Because what I see most of the time people doing is, when they start a piece of content, they start from the absolute zero. And this cannot happen. If you don't have frameworks for, even for your reels, for your stories, for your life, you're always going to be taking longer to create things. And here are just some of the pointers why you should have a framework. It saves you time and help you stay consistent. It helps you be more creative and get better results. And this sounds really completely backwards, right? How, if I use a framework, how am I going to be more creative? Well, it turns out that that time that you spent trying to reinvent the wheel, now you can use to be more creative. And I see this over and over again. When you have a framework, you can start to build your creativity in a way that maybe you didn't even know you could. So it helps your audience, it helps you bring your audience into your content seamlessly. And what I'm talking about here is our framework inside Master of Carousels. There is one framework that I use for 99% of my carousels that is repeatable, it is proven, it is tried, it is tested. And I use it all the time. I'm going to create a carousel so I don't start from zero. Okay. And today we're going to be talking about the first 2 steps of this framework. And they're going to sound very simple at first, but stay with me because they are very, very, very complex. So, a relatable hook. Okay. Sounds easy. And a double hook that shows why they should listen to you. Okay. Then let's talk about this relatable hook. Are you, again, straight from Master of Carousels, are you using words that belong to your audience's reality? Okay, so what are the words that your audience is saying today in their reality, related to their pain point or not? It can be related to their environment as well. It can be related to their world, their life, their routine. What are words that belong in that reality? For example, a technical example. If my audience talks about videos by saying the word reels, I'm going to use the word reels. I'm not going to use the word videos. Okay? Then, are you making them curious? Are you making your audience curious about what you have to say? And that your hook has to do exactly that, right? If you're not making them curious to continue, what's the purpose of your hook? And are you involving them? Social media is social. Nobody's there to get a lecture. As much as you want to educate people, people are not there to be educated. So unless you are making this connecting in some way, almost even entertaining or highlighting the importance, then it's going to be very hard for people to read your content. And I'm going to bring you 2 examples of how people do it and how they shouldn't be doing it. So on the right, there are 4 pages there. So the green pages are one example, the red is another. Let's look at the green. Okay, so my real logo was the second one. My real title, my real hook was the second one. These were all my logos since 2018. So what did I do there? I created a really lovely timeline that I'm going to share with you later, showing all my logos. And it was so cool, so interactive. You'll see it. Then imagine if I had created the same exact content, but I put the hook, why we love having a new logo and how it helps my business. Wow. Like wow. This is this is on pair with those carousels that say ways to work with me, right? Or how I can help your business. Or those very, very pointless content. You have to talk about your offers. But if nobody is watching, then what's the point? So what I'm asking you here is to use your hooks to grab people in, and then after you talk about your offers. Then, I love your content, but I would never buy from you. Okay, on the red, on the red. That was the carousel I created. Then I really tried, guys. I tried to make it bad, but I struggled to make bad hooks. So, is your content generating sales? That is still pretty decent, but it's not as good as I love your content, but I would never buy from you, right? Because I'm using words that belong to my audience's reality. And I thought I had an example. I think I have it after. Yeah. After you finish your hook, hope that made sense. And if it did make sense, let me know. Let me know in the comments. No, this is fully live, Anita. I'm here. I'm here. I just saw your comments. Sorry. The double hook effect. So this is what I mean when on the second slide, maybe even the second and the third, you need to be talking about the importance. Okay, so why they should listen to you. Okay, and a second hook. The double hook effect means one thing. If your audience ignores your first hook and they keep scrolling on their feed, at some point, they might end up seeing your second page. Okay. And on your second page, if you don't have a repeat of your hook, they're not going to understand anything. Okay. So you need to make sure that that second page repeats your hook somehow. Most of the times, for most carousels, this is very, very helpful. And if you look at what I'm doing there, let me put it a bit bigger. If you look at what I'm doing there, you are going to be seeing that are lots. So the first page, let's start with the first page, May. Good hooks can kill your reach. Good looks can kill your reach. 5 pretty things to avoid doing on Instagram. There are lots of ways to make your page and your content look good on social media. Okay, literally repeated the hook. But unfortunately, some of these ways can actually hurt your reach. Well, you should listen to me. Okay, so that second part there, why you should listen to me, is doing two things. It is creating a call to action to the rest of your carousel, but it is also showing your audience why they should listen. Not because I have the best tips, but maybe if you don't listen to me, these things can actually hurt your reach. Are you doing any of them? Okay, so we just need to make sure that that second page, we're not ruining it, because it is one of the most important ones. Right after your hook, that second page dictates that's the success of the rest of your carousel. Exactly. So I see here, Balance and Bliss, Body Talk, Double Hook, why you should listen to me. Perfect. Okay. So the double hook effect. Your second page should give context to what you're saying, show them why they should listen to you, and make them curious to see the rest of your carousel. Hey Div, if the text is too small, I just read it out loud, and after the class you will get the slides as well if you're in the WhatsApp group. All right. So is the double hook effect clear? Let me know. And by the way, if you want the slides to make it easier, just use our QR code and we'll get it after the class. Then we're going to go on to content presentation. And content presentation is super important. A lot of people forget about the visuals, and they think only about the text. Okay, so I want you to compare these two examples here that hopefully they're big. These two are very big. Okay. And take a look at the left one and the right one. I love your content, but I would never buy from you. It's the same exact hook on both, but on the left, look at how faded the text is. Look at how there's no highlighting, everything is center aligned. The picture, why am I smiling while saying I love your content, but I would never buy from you? Oh my God. And then on the left, what do we have? We have something that is a little bit more aligned to the left. We have my two fonts from my branding, right? From my brand identity. Then we have the second part, which is most important, in bold. And we even have a little detail that I like to add on the right, that shows that people can keep scrolling to see more. Okay, so look at how the visuals really impact everything around not only your hook, but also your carousels. Does this make sense? So this is exactly why, team, I'm not a graphic designer. I would never claim to be a graphic designer unless I do a graphic design course, right? But I have a graphic designer coming to Master of Carousels, and he is going to talk to us all about brand identity and font hierarchy and colors and all that kind of stuff that just makes my head go fuzzy. Okay, but he's the best. He is the best, and I don't know. Maybe he's here today. If he is, please give us a shout on in the comment section. So it's super important. So the hooks are not just words. And then, of course, when we're talking about content presentation, we need to talk about how you're going to be presenting your story or even your tips, if you're bringing tips, in a way that involves people, in a way people can understand. Okay. Of course he's here. Of course he's here. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay in the comments for me. But Joel or Joe is going to be our graphic designer that's going to teach us everything about your brand identity and how to make sure you're using your font hierarchy and everything. So, Joe, thank you so much for being here. And also, thank you so much for being a guest speaker inside the Master of Carousels. But back to what we were talking about, how to present your content. If you're presenting a carousel about how to identify the signs of burnout, okay, we need to make sure that we stick to a single topic, one carousel, one topic. So, how to solve things that are not going to be in this carousel, how to identify the signs of burnout. You're going to be talking about the signs of burnout. Okay, so what are you not going to be talking about? How to solve burnout, nuances of different routines. So if you work in an office, burnout looks like this. If you work in a farm, burnout looks like this. If you work, don't you know your ideal audience? Where do they work? Pick one place, okay? Because they are your ideal audience avatar. You need to talk about them, not about the entire world. And you're not going to be talking about how today's work culture is contributing to burnout unless that is your intro. Okay. If that's your intro, perfect. But if you're going to create a 10-page carousel about how today's work culture is contributing to burnout, then your carousel is no longer about how to identify the signs of burnout. Okay. Erica saying, I feel attacked. I love it. It is with kindness, Erica. It is with kindness. Okay. Then, just an extra example here how I burned out after 3 months running my business. This is more of a story than anything else, right? We're not going to give tips. So we need to be following a chronological flow of events that makes sense. Okay, what happens first? What happened next? What's the hierarchy of events? What caused your burnout? What was the drop, like the final drop that caused your burnout? Right? We need to be identifying those and putting those in a sequence that makes sense. Remember, every story has a problem, right? Every story has a solution. Every story has a start. Every story has an ending, generally a happy ending. Okay, just remember the latest, or just remember any book that you read from like fairy tales or something like that. That's the flow. We're going to group similar events that have a smaller importance, right? Because we're not going to be, nobody needs to know that before you burned out, you worked your 9 to 5 at, I don't even know, at Facebook. And then you tried, and then after Facebook, you went on to work for TikTok. And then after TikTok, you're talking about running your business. What does that even have to do with anything, right? So group it all together or don't put it at all. Say, before I ran my business, I was working a 9 to 5 job at various different tech companies, and I didn't really understand what running a business would take of me. Okay, and then you talk about the rest. So can you see how I'm not really specifying everything that happened before? And then stick to only the details that matter. Only the detail that matter. Okay. Then, okay, we got a good question. Before we go to the next one, we got a really good question from Susanna. I find it a bit difficult to create this kind of carousel when I teach people about using Canva in their business. I can see here, Susanna, that you would be sharing a lot of different Canva tips, but I would love if you started talking about your Canva tips from experience or from a benefit that they will give your audience. Like if they want to make their designs look more elegant, if they want to make their designs pass more credibility, what is the end goal, right? But also, if we're talking about storytelling, remember how we mentioned that your your connection point will first happen with your brand and not with your offer. And that's the same with your niche. Your connection point is you and your brand, your audience and your brand. Okay. And your brand is not Canva. Your brand is, maybe you have a personal brand, so in this case it's coming from you. So what are the connecting points that we're going to find from your brand and your audience, not from Canva and your audience? Okay, that's for the tips, that's for the educational content. These types of stories, and you can talk about, um, you can talk about your business, you can talk about your journey, you can talk about how Canva helped you do something, you can talk about your own designs, your own experience, your own timelines. That are many, many, many things you can bring to your carousels to bring that connection. And that goes back to my point, team, that if tomorrow I wanted to become a Canva coach and compete with Susanna, I could, right? If you wanted to become a Canva coach and compete with Susanna, you could. What would differentiate all of us, right? Okay. Oh, I went back. Then we touched on this, but let's talk a little bit about it in more detail. Our fourth pillar is conversation. Okay, so conversation, that's a very deep topic to talk about, but essentially what it boils down to is, do people want to talk to you after reading your posts? There is a reason why my business is called Talk to Me, because I love talking to people. Right, I love talking to people, and I think it makes a whole lot of difference. And social media, if we look at what social media is all about, social media is all about talking, right? So if you are not making people want to talk to you after reading your post, what is your post really doing? So, in the beginning, when you start off on social media, in the beginning, building that necessity of people wanting to talk to you is extremely hard. Like, I'm not going to lie, it is extremely, extremely hard. But through our stories, through our life, through ourselves, through our personal experiences, we can start building that connection. And here, we also need to talk about, you know, a little bit of supporting others. Are we supporting people from our niche as well? Are we supporting people from similar niches? Are we connecting with other people? Um, Maybe can you create some carousel collaborations together to bring different talking topics? And if you're already in the game and you have an audience, right? Because everybody has an audience, but if you have a maybe more than 1,000 followers, you can already start doing this very, very well. Okay, so are you bringing excitement and feelings and emotions to your post that are making people feel something and making people want to connect with you? So either this feeling is excitement, either this feeling is fear, either this feeling is shock or surprise, or they discovered something that they hadn't even thought of. How are you bringing that to your post? Those emotions are generally what make people want to connect with us. And then pair that with a very good call to action, right? Not every post needs to be like for more tips, follow for more, follow me for whatever. You can literally say, what is your opinion about this? What do you think about that? Um, I'd love, I need to choose between this and that. What do you think? people will be more prone to answer, people will be more prone to engage, participate, etc. People value people that value their opinions. Okay. So back to this example, why we love having a new logo and how it helps my business. And then we modified this to these were all my logos since 2018. What did I do here? Look at all the comments I received. Love this. You shared your business's history just by showing us your logos. Exactly. That's exactly what I did. It was never about a logo, even though my logo is awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. But it was about the timeline, making people excited to see my journey. Let me show you. There you go. That's the example I was talking about, just in a different place. Look at all the logos that I shared. So this is not the full carousel, but just the logo part. So the first logo when I had a travel account, the second logo, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then what were people saying in the comments? Which one they preferred? Loved seeing the journey. I didn't know you had a travel account, etc., etc. What am I doing? I'm bringing depth to my content and I'm driving people down the funnel. But I'm also connecting and getting to know some really cool people. So that's a bonus. And then of course, we're not just talking about connecting for nothing, right? We're talking about connecting with people that may want to buy us, may want to buy from us, or maybe us. I don't know what you sell, but may want to buy from us in the end. So, hi, I'm interested in your offers. Can you tell me more about them? Okay, so is your audience asking you this question? Because if they're not, then your content is not going deep enough. And that's the question I want your audience to be asking you. I'm interested in your offers. Can you tell me more about them? Because you are making them stop to think about something that they didn't think about before. And that's what we're going to talk about in class 3. So be ready because it's really good. Okay, so Chris here in the comments is telling us, I struggle as well as I am a polyglot user-generated content for brands. So she speaks many languages. And I would like to know if I should write 2 different carousels or use 2 different languages in carousels. Chris, I have a lot to say about this topic, as I also had this big question in the beginning, right? I speak 4 languages. What language am I going to use? The best advice I can give you is pick one. Pick one language. And I know this sounds really strict, but it's just you're going to be forever in a limbo of not knowing what to do if you continue like that. There are people that put their main subtitles in or their main text in a language and underneath in another, but it creates a lot of complexity and it takes a lot of your time. If it's not a necessity, like a full necessity, and I would highly recommend seeking some advice. Okay, let's have a chat to see how things are going. But yeah, be careful to not do so much work. Okay. By the way, team, this is one of your final chances to join our WhatsApp group and get our slides. So there is a QR code on the bottom right there. And I'm going to ask my team, Rose, please, if you can share the link to the WhatsApp group in the comments once again, just so people have it. All right. Yeah, you're going to get the slides and you're going to get something that I'm about to tell you in 2 minutes. Okay. So, content systems. And inside content systems, we're going to be talking about something that somebody literally just put in the comments, ideas. Okay. Where will your ideas come from? And how are you going to create content, turning your ideas into carousels, into even other pieces of content? Okay. How are we going to do that? When I had my 9 to 5, I developed a methodology to help me do that. faster than with no methodology, starting from zero, doing absolutely all things at once. So let's talk a little bit about it. First, the first thing we need to do is to have a system to find ideas during our routine. Okay. And if we don't have this system to find ideas, you're going to find yourself constantly stopping your life, looking at a blank wall to find content ideas. And that is really tough. That is tough on you. That is tough on literally everything. That puts a strain in your life, not even in your social media. It puts a strain in your life. So this is exactly why inside Master of Carousels we go in depth in this. Um, it's a class that has 20 minutes, and it breaks down step by step what we need to do in order to find our ideas and turn them into carousels in a way that it integrates with your life. But what I'm telling you today is you need to find ways that you turn a switch in your mind, okay, from a content creator consumer to from a content consumer to a content creator. And once you turn on this switch, it will not turn off anymore. And you will start finding ideas everywhere. But in order to do that, you need to understand your audience. And we need to go back to those three questions from the beginning. Okay. And you need to start really digging deep in those questions and understanding, okay, who am I actually speaking to? Right. But as I said, we have something else for you today. And I want you to keep this safe because we're going to be using it for our class number 2. So, right after this class is over, I will be sharing with you Canva templates. Okay, so we are going to, you're going to be getting those 8 templates and a few more. Yeah, a few more that I am currently finishing up, because tomorrow we're going to have an exercise. Okay, and you can use those templates or you can use your own, but we're going to create something that's going to be very meaningful for you. I'm not going to spoil the surprise now, but you're going to use this a lot, like a lot. So after this class is over, we are going to send you the slides and we're going to send you the templates. Let me put the link to our group here. One second. Let me get it here. Group info. Invite via link. Copy the link. I'm going to throw it in the comments right now. And yes, inside the beauty of that group team is only my team and I can send messages. And the reason for that is there are over 900 or 800 people in the comment. Can you imagine if everyone was talking? So we're always open to receiving emails or information about your questions through emails. But in that chat, it's really for you to receive everything that we have to give you during these classes, including your templates and including your PDFs. All right. So, recapping your 5 pillars of carousel creation. Let me know what you thought about our content today in the comments. I would love to see some feedback, but a quick recap. So, the 5 pillars of carousel creation are our 5 C's of carousel creation. First, connection, conversion driven carousel structure. So, a connection connects your brand with your audience through that funnel that we talked about, right? We are going to be creating differentiating carousels that are going to differentiate you, that are going to position you as the only option in your audience's mind. And we're going to build a unique style for you, your unique style that connects with your audience. Then we're going to go on to a conversion driven carousel structure. And in that structure, we are going to be using a repeatable framework that we're going to use every single time we create a carousel. So we're not overthinking. So we're being more creative. We are saving time and we are guaranteeing better results. And by the way, this is the exact structure that we use inside Master of Carousels. Our modules are exactly those. So you can imagine that it goes a lot more in detail than what we're talking about today. And then we're going to go on to content presentation. How you present your content really matters. Not only the words, but also the text, the story, the flow, the narrative. And we're going to go in depth with in all of these aspects. And then conversation. How are you handling the conversations that how are you handling the conversations in your profile when somebody stops and asks, hi, um hi Heather, can you tell me more about your offers? Hi Rose, can you tell me more about your offers? What do you reply to that? Okay, are you losing a sale because you're not managing to handle those conversations, right? And then content systems. What kind of systems are we going to be using to be consistent? Okay, what kind of systems are we going to be using to not stop our life and to find content ideas on the go? And how are we going to organize those content ideas? How are we going to turn them into carousels in a way that is streamlined and efficient? Okay, then next class tomorrow. How to build a community of super fans online. And if you can imagine, we're going to be talking a lot about how to generate connection, and we're going to be doing a very hands-on exercise. So make sure to grab your templates that I'm going to be sharing with you in our WhatsApp group. Okay. Make sure to grab this PDF. If you have any questions, let us know. But that is essentially it. Okay. And tomorrow, at the same time as today, we're going to be talking about how to turn your audience into superfans by using your most powerful weapon in your arsenal. And I like to call this the revolutionary strategy. Does anybody have any final questions? And thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Root and Bloom Studio. Thank you, Heather. Sorry about stealing your name for one of the examples. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Erica. Thank you so much for everyone that was here today. Not only this means a lot to me, but also I hope that I managed to deliver a lot of value to you. And now you know how powerful carousels can be and how content creation can be, right? And these 3 days are going to maximize even more what we just talked about today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to turn your audience into super fans. And then on day 3, we're going to talk about sales. But remember to join our WhatsApp group to get those slides, but also to get your Canva templates. Okay. So thank you so much, team. Thank you for being my team. And I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye. Bye bye.